And then now later on they start telling me, you have to be popping this balloon. And I was like, popping this balloon? I'm the only one popping the balloons. And now every time I pop the balloons, there are messages. There are messages there. Me at first, I was like, I can't believe it. Because now, when we were dating, I was like, I hope he will date me for 1 year and immediately he will engage me. But you see, Eric waited for 2 years and then there's a time he engaged me. So I was so happy. But now I was, you know, like it was, for me it was mind-blowing. I can't believe it.
Our Kenyan men are so romantic. They are so romantic.
I used to remind Baba Sai and I told him, you know, you just continue to do the work of God, do the will of God. Even if business is not going well, even if we lack, just follow the will of God. Oh, Lynn, it was not easy. Especially for him. I remember, especially for him, it's because he's the man. I felt bad for him, especially for him, but especially, you know, you lost friends. It was very challenging for me because most of the time I have to use the crutches. Even going to the toilet, Eric has to carry me and put me an adult diaper.
He did that?
He did that for me. You see, now all that sacrifice now Eric needs to do. Put the diaper for me, carry me in the toilet, bath me. Something that I can't do for myself.
Hello and a warm welcome to the show. My name is Lynn Ngugi. Now, nowadays we are saying two things about marriage. Marriage is a scam or marriage works. My guest today left everything behind, even her family in the Philippines, to come and be with our brother here in Kenya. And she says he is definitely the best man she has ever met. She's going to share her story with us, and we will also have her husband here with us on the show. And so without further ado, please allow me to let my guest today introduce herself. Hello, hello.
Yes.
Sasa mami.
Poa sana.
Habari yako?
Mzuri sana.
Uko salama?
Uko salama kabisa.
Kabisa? Grace, unajua Kiswahili yote?
Yeah, kujichocha tu.
Oh my God! Eric, umefundisha nini Grace? Kujichocha tu. Karibu sana. Welcome to the show.
Asante.
Haya, please introduce yourself.
Yes, mimi ni Grace Maina. My name is Grace Bolima Maina. Yeah, I'm actually a Filipino. Yeah, and I'm married to a Kenyan, a very handsome Kenyan man. Yes. And I grew up in the Philippines, and I'm actually the firstborn in the family, but we are all girls.
How many siblings do you have?
So I have 3 siblings.
And you are the firstborn.
And I'm the firstborn. I'm the only one who's married so far.
Wow.
Yes.
Let me first say, Kwanza, before you ask me where the mustard yellow seats are, I want to say our guest today is a new mama.
Yes.
So singewapeleka pale tupigwe na hiyo baridi yote ya asubuhi. So we thought we would do this in the amazing house so that hata katoika kilia kidogo, she can rush amnyamazishe, halafu we continue. So thank you even for making time and welcoming us into this amazing house.
Karibu sana.
Now Grace, when you and your husband wrote an email, you told me the reason you want to share the story, it's because you want to tell people marriage works.
Yes.
If it's done 100% God's way. Hey, take us through your story because we are ready.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Me and my husband actually met in Dubai. Yeah. I went to Dubai 2014. Yes, and that was the time. Actually, when I was in the Philippines, I never thought I'll go to Dubai, but I'd been pleading to God and praying to God for a spouse. I was actually heartbroken when I left Philippines before I went to Dubai, and so I was telling God, Lord, lead me to the place where my spouse is. And I told God, if it's His will, He will allow me to go to Dubai. So now 2014, I get there, and then now me and Eric, actually, I'm working for a different department. He's in a different department also. I was in sales.
Yes.
So later on, he started passing by to the shops because he's usually assisting guests.
Yeah.
So especially like VIP guests or and then he started asking me. He see my name tag Red Grace. So he started asking me. He started telling me, do you know the meaning of your name? So I told him blessing. So he told me, no, that's not the meaning of your name. And then he started sharing to me the gospel.
Yeah.
So I think that's how we started to be connected. Yeah. And then he started sharing to me about the gospel and about Jesus. And you know, I was not saved. I used to be a Catholic. So now he started sharing to me, and now, you know, it for me, I was amazed with those words, you know, the wisdom that, you know, God has given him, especially sharing the gospel. And so later on, we didn't meet again. So it takes like few months, like I not actually like maybe 1.5. I moved to another property because we actually have 3 properties in the hotel. Yeah. So now when I was moved to another property, now later on I found out Eric was also moved there. So I was wondering sometime, like, now where is this guy? You know, like I've not been seeing him, and you know, he was very friendly.
Yes.
So he used to have many friends there. He was very approachable, very friendly to people, to any nationalities. Yeah, and then now I met him in that property where now I was moved.
Yes.
And I remember, Lynn, that time I was not feeling well. And you know, I was depressed because I almost start dating a white guy. Because I was heartbroken. I left Philippines. I was telling God, Lord, if it's your will, I'll find my spouse there in Dubai. Lead me there. So now I was dating this guy, and I thought now he's the one, a French guy.
Yeah.
And then now, later on, now I started to be depressed. And then there's a time I was not feeling well. I was in that property, and I was having a very bad stomach pain because of my period. And then no one can take me to the clinic.
Yes.
And later on, just to know Eric, what Eric found out I was not feeling well, he drive the club car and take me to the clinic. From now on, since then, I think God has been, it's just funny because we're not planning to be eating together, to be meeting up now, and then we're seeing one another.
Yes.
So now unplanned, even eating in the cafeteria, in the hotel, and then in the bus, because now usually you have accommodation, you have free buses.
Yes.
So now and then he'll be sharing the word of God, and I remember how I was very hungry for the word, because we are never taught in the Philippines to read the Bible, usually in Catholicism. So now he will be encouraging me, you have to seek the Lord, you know, because I was very heartbroken. Now that guy disappeared, the white guy, later on. Now I'm starting to develop a feelings with that guy, and then now he disappeared. So I start to feel, you know, so heartbroken again. And then now Eric is here telling me, you know, you have to seek the Lord. He started now advising me, and then especially now seeking God fast.
Yeah.
So I remember there's a time we were in the bus.
Yes.
And I was telling him, by the way, how will you know when you finally found the one? And then he was telling me, when you have peace in your heart. And that time we are not dating, we're just friends. And now, you know, we started with the word. He now continues sharing with me. And then later on, Lynn started telling me, Grace, by the way, I'm opening a Bible study. God has been leading me to open a Bible study in the accommodation. Would you like to join us? So he opened a Bible study. Now I joined the Bible study in the accommodation.
Wow.
So now he continue later on. Now we continue meeting up. He continue sharing with me. Not knowing that later on I will start developing feelings for him. And it's just funny because for Eric, he's not even attracted at all. He was telling me that time he never even thought to, you know, marry a Filipino. That is, you know, because he was also heartbroken when he left Kenya, now going to Dubai. So he promised himself, I will never end up with someone unless God speak. So now, Lynn, I'm telling you. So now that's the time I was telling God. And now I started developing feelings toward him. There's a time we were in the cafeteria. So because now later on we will meet up. So now there's a guy who started telling me, hey, by the way, where's your girlfriend? I've not been seeing you guys for some time. And you know, it just happened that time we just finished eating, right? And then I came back, and then now I heard that I walk out, because now Eric told the Pakistani or Indian, because most of the people there also work, they are Indians and Pakistani. So Eric started telling them, no, that's not my girlfriend. So, you know, I started developing feelings toward him. So I felt like, why this guy, he don't even know, you know. I felt like, so he was insensitive. So later on, he realized, this lady is developing feelings toward me. That time he started, he told us we have to do a prayer and fasting for 21 days for the fellowship. And then now he encouraged me, let's do a fast. After the 21 days fast, I joined him. He told me, let's fast again for a week to ask God if it's His will for us to be together so we can start dating.
Yes.
Hey, Lynn. So now, me, you know, in the Philippines, it's very rare, Filipino married Kenyans, and you know that. And especially Africans. You know, most of Filipinos, and especially our parents, they will want us to marry white people.
Yes.
Yes. So now I was thinking, Eric is thinking now, if you end up with me, will you stay with me in Kenya? You know, he started to have those questions, and later on he started telling me those ones after after the prayer and fast. And so we continue to fast and to pray and to seek God. And then later on, now we started, now, you know, things are falling in its place, yeah, without even us knowing.
Yeah.
But now Eric was telling me 3 months before he met me, he had a dream. And then even when he met me, he never remembered that dream. But he said he had a dream of marrying a Filipino. He married a Filipino, he took the Filipino in Kenya, and then he get married. Then even now in our dating process, he never remember. And then even me, I told him, by the way, I had a dream also when I was in Philippines before I flew to Dubai. That there's this black guy. Actually, I saw only the back, and he's bald. That there's this black guy, and he's leading me. And in my dream, I'm looking for direction. I don't know where to go. Like let's say you're going to some place, and I don't know exactly where to go.
Yeah.
And he's telling me, "Come, I'll show you the way." Wow. And then now a runner, and usually you guys are, you know, you're athletes, you're sporty Kenyans.
We are Kipchoges.
Yes, imagine, and that's the dream I had.
Oh.
And then now, also there's a time I told Derek, do you know, I used to be praying to God, even though I used to just write, because I'm a Catholic. I don't know what it means to have a relationship with God, how to pray. I used to write and tell God, Lord, I pray that you bless me with a God-fearing man, because I don't know what is a born-again man, God-fearing man, and 8 years older than me. So I told God, an 8 years older than me, specifically that age. Because I used to, you know, think, usually when they're a bit older than you, they are mature.
Very mature.
Yeah, they are mature, you know. They know how to lead you and, you know, take care of you. They will know how to take care of the family, lead the family.
Yeah.
Then later on, I started seeing Eric's ID, and I was telling him, hey, you're born 1983. He was I think from that time, I told God, hey, this must be the one for me now.
Yes.
Actually, from that time, and then now him sharing with me, I told God, I know already that I found the one.
Yeah.
But for Eric, he said, let's continue to pray. So that's the thing that I have admired with him, because he didn't take advantage
Of you.
And you know, usually in Dubai, you find someone, and you know they're attracted to you. They take advantage of you.
Tell me about it. Yes.
So I was surprised with him. Eric said, we'll continue to pray and fast.
Wow.
Until the Lord speak to us.
Yes.
So now, as we are continue doing our Bible study, and then now he told me later on, now also he knows that, you know, this is now where God wants us to be. So we started dating, and then 2017, before 2016, he engaged me.
Okay.
After I came from vacation from the Philippines, I went for vacation in the Philippines.
Yes.
And he was even telling me that time, once you go back to the Philippines and your parents convince you either, you know, to leave the relationship, then I know it's not the will of God. Like, you know, he'll just walk away. But you know, he was surprised because now we are constantly talking. I was in the Philippines for 18 days.
Yes.
And I was always been talking to him, and my family is even, you know, questioning me because, you know, the difference of time. I'm talking to him because now I'm used to being with him. You know, we are always talking. And then so later on, I don't know that he was already talking to my dad that he wants to engage me.
Okay.
And my dad is telling him, you guys are still young, enjoy.
How was the engagement?
The engagement was, I never thought even I will have that kind of engagement. Full of surprises. Actually, he talked with my friends, now my churchmate in Dubai,
Yes.
Filipinos. Most of them are Filipinos, and they took me to the park after the church Friday,
Yes.
because usually the church there is Friday.
Yeah.
So he took me there. They took me there. They said, we have an activity in the park. And then now later on they start telling me, you have to be popping this balloon. And I was like, popping this balloon? I'm the only one popping the balloons. And now every time I pop the balloons, there are messages. There are messages there. Me at first, I was like, I can't believe it. Because now, when we were dating, I was like, I hope he will date me for 1 year and immediately he will engage me. But you see, Eric waited for 2 years and then there's a time he engaged me. So I was so happy. But now I was, you know, like it was, for me it was mind-blowing. I can't believe
Our
it.
Kenyan men are so romantic. They are so romantic.
Imagine.
Eric, thanks kwa piga. So romantic.
Yes, and
Yeah.
so now I was popping those balloons and now
Yes.
messages now and then his message for me, and then now later on he started playing the guitar and singing.
So I'm standing here, beneath my hand.
So now tears started falling. Yes, and it was very beautiful. That was 2016 February.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was very, very, very beautiful. And then he asked me if will you marry me? And of course for me, Lynn, I'd been waiting for that.
Man.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Mary Grace Olima, will you honor me by being my wife for the rest of my life?
Grace is speechless. That's not the answer.
Yes.
What do you think? What, did I say yes? Of course!
So then later on, 2017, now January, is now when we have our wedding here
In Kenya.
in Kenya. So we
Yes.
had our first wedding here, and then the next year is in Philippines. So our wedding here, it was big, you know.
How was it like meeting his people, his parents,
Yes.
siblings, family? Did they
Yes.
welcome you? Like, how was that like for you?
They're very welcoming. You guys are very welcoming. You know, Kenyans are. That is something that.
Yes, we know us. We are very welcoming, romantic,
Yes.
kind people. Yes, so thank you
Yes.
for acknowledging.
Sweetheart, so
Yeah.
me, I was welcome, very welcome.
Yeah.
Now the family, and you know the way you guys, when you guys have celebration, cooking, everything, food, you guys invite many
Yes.
friends, people,
Yeah.
and you know for us, especially my family, they have admired that because usually in our country, where not everyone do big weddings. Usually people just do signings. They sign as long as you have witnesses, and then not everyone take the right path
Yes.
fast of marrying fast. Like
Yeah.
like in my family sides, I'm the only one who married fast, you know, before I get pregnant, you know, I get married fast. Most of my like my sisters, my auntie, my family sides, they don't get married fast.
Yeah.
So my mom admired that, and my dad that we get married fast.
Yes.
Eric asked for the permission fast, and and so our family here, they were very welcoming. I was being welcomed very well, very well. And even we were surprised, most of the time we were in Dubai, Lynn. So now the wedding, imagine now how can we even plan our wedding and we are in Dubai. It was God's plan. We have our best friends here, our best man that time, and our best woman who they have helped us, and our family members.
Yes.
And then now Eric have a cousin now who started later on. Eric found out that she's a wedding planner.
Yeah.
So now she have helped us
Plan your wedding.
plan our wedding. And then there's a time she said, let me travel to Dubai to get my stuff, not even knowing that, we'll be able to plan with her.
Wow.
And we came before the wedding, 3 days before the wedding. Imagine.
Wow.
But the Lord have allowed it to happen. Yeah, everything, the preparation. Yeah, it was very beautiful.
Yeah.
And Eric's family, especially the welcome, of his family, relatives, it was amazing. You feel the love,
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. So you, after the wedding life, you move in together.
Yes.
Are you going back to Dubai for work, or are you guys now moving in back to Kenya permanently?
Yes. So for us, we are already settled here.
Yes.
Because now when we have left Dubai 2018,
Yeah.
there's a time now God spoke to Eric, and God told him, this now where I'm calling you guys for ministry. So now we have to leave everything, leave our jobs, We have left everything to follow God's calling here in Kenya. So immediately, actually it was, the plan, Lynn, was after our wedding, we stayed there for 3 years to save.
In Dubai.
Dubai.
Yes.
Usually it's, you want to save fast and before you settle. But then, God has another plan. We believe that after 8 months of marriage, I get pregnant already.
With Zion.
With Zion now.
Yeah.
And now dynamics change. Now our plans change. Now we wanted to save. We save fast and then we settle down.
Yeah.
Now, I promised Eric. I told him. There's a time he told me, so what happened if we lost our job? Like now, we have to leave Dubai. What are you going to do? Are you willing to stay with me in Kenya? So, and we leave everything. So I told him, where you will be, I will be. Wow. Because now, Lynn, especially in Dubai, let's say the man and the woman get married, the woman get pregnant, right?
Yes.
The husband will say, we need to save, go back to your country.
Yes.
Or go to my country.
Yeah.
I'll come back after a few months or few years, let us say.
Yeah.
And it compromise your marriage, you're far from one another. As I told Eric, whatever we have, whether we struggle, we have to be together. So he told me, are you willing to come? We'll settle in Kenya. I said, yes. I cannot go to my country without you there. I cannot go to your country without you there. So now, we move by faith, we move back.
We move back.
So now, but before we move back, sweetheart, we went also to visit my family that time for 18 days so that we can have our wedding there.
Yeah, and their blessings.
And their blessings. Yes, so now later on now, 18 days we came back here, now in Kenya.
Yeah.
So that's now where now, life now begins now in our family and our marriage. And so now, during now our marriage, the time we came here,
came back.
That was 2018, January, February, March, April fast.
Yeah.
Now I had an accident. And, I was 38 weeks pregnant.
38 weeks?
38 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm almost due. And so I was now, we came from church on that day. I fell from the stairs from the plot where we used to stay with my mother-in-law's place, because we have to be there for some time so that I can learn the cultures,
Yes.
the food, how to cook Kenyan foods, and so we were there. We remember that time that day it was Sunday, 7 in the evening. So I was going to take the stairs because I wanted to clean the the toilet.
Yeah.
And then now later on I remember, wow, I forgot something. Now when I turned, I think I had forgotten like 3 or 4 steps. And then, you know, I was very big. My pregnancy was very big that time, and I was also big. I fell, and then immediately, now my leg here.
Yeah.
So now, actually, the bone, is it protrude?
Yes.
It has moved. Now the ankle now. So now I was telling. That time we didn't even know yet. I was calling Eric. I was telling, love, come and help me. I was not even thinking about that. I was thinking, love, come, because now I'm thinking now I had miscarriage already. I've lost Zion, and you know the way I fell. I was thinking now it could have broken his spine, you know, or his head. I was scared. Lynn, I could have not even think about my leg. I was telling Eric, come, look, if I'm bleeding. Now later on they carry me. We saw now the bone protrude. Now it moved. I was in excruciating pain. So much, that pain that I have, Lynn. Now they have to take me to Huruma Nursing. And then now we went to Huruma Nursing. No one can assist us there. So we just take, where now they scan to check the bones. Now we have to move to another hospital. Nairobi Women. Hey, Lynn, we have stayed there until it's like we came there at night until Nairobi Women. There's no orthopedic doctors.
Yes.
And you know, I cannot take painkillers because of the pregnancy. Baby. So I was in pain. I remember even Eric holding my leg, and they have to put a box and then you know, it can't move. Every time it moves, I'm screaming because of the pain. It was tough. It was very, very tough. And you know, now I was like, and you know the way when you are in pain, you know, especially in pregnancy, you cannot just lie down like this because of the pregnancy, and the oxygen and the blood will not circulate well in the baby. So I have to be on the side most of the time. But it was painful. The way that bone move. Well, until the next day, still there's a doctor came the next day. So the doctor is telling us, we have to remove first the baby. You do a cesarean first, and then we do the surgery. Now we were thinking the baby is okay. No, you know, Eric was thinking, now that will be a lot of pain because now they will have to cut me. Do a cesarean, and the baby is okay. They want to remove the baby, and they now do the surgery. Eric was like, no, there should be another way out. Let's go and let's go to another hospital and find out. So we have to move. We move to another hospital now, Lynn. We moved to Coptic. I'm telling you, Lynn, it's like almost it's like 1.5 days or 2 days. No doctors attending to me. That pain, it was crazy. It was so much.
Yeah.
So now, then now we went to Coptic. It's even divine. Later on, now there's a doctor now who came, and now at 5 in the afternoon, and then now the doctor say, the only way is we have to inject her. They call it anesthesia, but now on the leg, so that they don't have to do the anesthesia on my back, and they don't have to remove the baby. But then now it's costing like 285K, and Lynn, you know, we just move back. And now our savings, it was actually for now the pregnancy, and now Eric was planning we start a business.
A small business.
So we can start all over again. So now we are thinking, now Lord, where do we start? Now at least by that time the doctor had tried to, there's a way he pulled this one on my leg.
Yeah.
But then now the ligaments are broken. There are those things that you still have to go. I still have to undergo surgery. So now I have to go now. We have to go back to Huruma. I'm on crutches.
Yes.
Now, you know, I was thinking, oh, you know, I'm a foreigner in this land. We just moved. And we just moved, and now we're thinking, now Eric is thinking, now where are we going to get that money? Where are we going to start, you know, getting that finances? Yeah, but Lynn, and then, you know, later on, it's even divine. After 4 days, I gave birth. Because now it was very difficult for that time that we went back to Huruma.
Yeah.
If I haven't gave birth yet, I could have gained so much weight.
Yes.
They could have done me cesarean.
Yeah.
But even during that process, it was very challenging for me because most of the time I have to use the crutches. Even going to the toilet, Eric has to carry me and put me an adult diaper.
Oh, he did that?
He did that for me. You see, now all that sacrifice now Eric needs to do, put the diaper for me, carry me in the toilet, bath me, something that I can't do for myself.
Wow.
For that time.
Wow.
And you know, it was tough because now I've never had an accident like that. Like, you know, you felt like your burden, you can't do anything.
Like this is bad luck.
Yeah, and you felt like, you know, and this is not my land. This is not where my mom, my dad is, you know. I'm in a foreign land, you know. So it was a very tough time for us, Lynn, you know, especially when we came back here, especially during the time of the accident, you know, before I go for the surgery. And I remember the time now when we are still telling God, Lord, you know, I have to now undergo surgery. Provide for us. We've been seeking God for finances, and this is now one thing that I admire now in this nation. I was telling Eric, me in my country, I've never seen it the way you guys will come together. Let's say do is it a harambe? Now you guys in anything. Let's say finances for wedding.
Yes.
Let's say it's for hospital needs. Let's say it's for family needs.
Yes.
So now. Eric's friends here, everybody came together, even without us knowing. They came all together to help, to contribute. So there's this our friend. His name is Moas. Now our best man. So he started calling people, and you know, even our family members, our mom, our sister-in-laws. They start coming all together to help us. Our cousins, now all our friends. And it was and then now we have our church in Dubai where we used to be.
Oh.
They have it's called Fellowship of the Emirates. They have a benevolence team there. So they started also supporting us.
Wow.
Lynn, I'm telling you, we didn't even use any single penny.
Amen.
The Lord provided for us. It's like after immediately April 1st, I had the accident. April 5th, I gave birth. And then now April 10, when we took Zain for the hospital because of his jaundice, now like April 27, I went for surgery. So that all the process of being in the hospital most of the time, like all that time, you know, like we didn't thought it will happen to us.
And you never felt alone?
We never felt alone. That's now the amazing thing, Lynn, with God. You know, we have never felt forsaken, you know. So now our finances is exhausted now. Now we lack, you know, we don't have now anything, savings, it's all now exhausted. So there will be those times where now you have your family members or friends, they will question you, like, you know, they will never think like, they will ask us like, you know, why don't you guys just go back to Dubai? Like after some time, you know, of the accident, and now I'm in the healing process, and they will, even my own family, they will ask me, Grace, why don't you, because now we are struggling financially, you know, they will tell us, why don't you guys look for a job? Why don't you? And you know, we have tried many things. I remember many times Eric tried to open a business, a car wash. Wow. Tried he tried to push a lot of things. But I know very well, Lynn, I know very well things was not going through. It's because God has called us for ministry. It was tough, especially on the time when now Eric is trying to, you know, because now he's the head of the family, so he don't want us to struggle. because now especially he took me here, and most of the people, you know, they know I'm a Muzungu. They will not think, oh, you guys are, you know, are struggling, like you guys will go through this process of, you know, luck. They won't understand that. But you know, during that process, because we are believers, we are followers of Christ, we started understanding, since God has been, you know, encouraging us through His Word. When I was having my, I'm in that process of I can't walk, I'm in the bed most of the time, I felt like bedridden. He's been encouraging us.
Yeah.
And we have to partake of the suffering of Christ, right? And even the Bible say that, you know, even if you suffered as a Christian, let not, you know, you should not be ashamed. The Bible says that you should not be ashamed, but let glorify God in this matter. It says that even if we suffer according to the will of God, let us glorify God.
Yes.
And submit our souls to Him,
Yeah.
because He is our faithful
Yeah.
Creator. So even during the time of the process of that trials, we decided to just continue to, you know, have faith in God.
Yes.
We trust. Even during the time of you know, we had our vows when we are in our wedding, and we say, in riches and in poor, in sickness and in health. So I told Eric, you know, there's a time I felt my husband was almost depressed, because, you know, he wanted to provide, he wanted to do everything, to give the best for us, and yet some of our family will say, why don't you guys just go back to Dubai? Because they like, for them, like, it's impossible. How could your wife is a Muzungu? How could you guys struggle, you know? But you know, they can't understand. People won't understand. I just had an accident, and me and my husband have already decided. Eric say, I'll work for this family. You take care of our kids. That is our decision. I will take care of the kids and do ministry, because this is what God has called us to do. To go and preach the gospel, especially in the matatu, in the streets, in the church, and bus most of the time outside.
You must have to develop a relationship with God. Some of you maybe are already Christians, but you have a lukewarm and loveless love for Christ.
So, but Lynn, I was telling Eric, I know very well the reason why we are struggling. There's even a time, a friend of us now, Sarah, God spoke to her that the reason why he saw in her dreams that Eric has been looking for a job everywhere, even in town, and he's not getting it. But God told her it's because God has called us in ministry, and these trials is to strengthen us, and so God can also test us, you know, before He revealed to us what He has called us here. So I used to remind Eric, I used to remind Baba Zai, and I told him, you know, you just continue to do the work of God, do the will of God. Even if business is not going well, even if we lack, just follow the will of God. Oh, Lynn, it was not easy. Especially for him. I remember, especially for him, it's because he's the man. I felt bad for him, especially for him, but especially, you know, you lost friends. And I told Eric, you know, it was a process.
You lost friends?
Yeah, like, you know, you have friends who are now changing.
Yeah.
Now they won't, their character towards you have changed, because, you know, you're no longer, you don't have everything now the way we used to be in Dubai. But I'm just amazed, Lynn, of how later on, Mishukuru sana, Sakti. You know, Lynn, what amazes me is, I told Eric, and I know my husband himself, even during the time of that process, I remember how he will always encourage us in the Word, and like the way we used to when God brought us together. Our foundation is in the Word. Even during our trials and process here, it was still in the Word. Lynn, now 2020, he was ordained now as a pastor in Nairobi Chapel.
Wow.
Yes, but even before that, Lynn, immediately, I think even after the accident, is it after, now I was recovering, after a few months, we started going to the Matatu and started now preaching.
Yes.
Matatu, we go for Matatu evangelism, street evangelism, because that's what now, you know, the enemy don't want us, devil don't want us to go and share the gospel.
Exactly.
So that's why there's a delay, now I have to had an accident.
Yes.
Yeah, but I told Eric, now when we look back, you know,
When you look
when you look back,
Yeah.
you remember those times that you lack, there's a time that you don't have anything,
Yes.
and yet, you know, we stand with one another.
Yeah.
We be grateful for what we have.
Yeah.
The privilege that God has given us to look after the kids, you know, to
Yeah.
raise them in
Yeah.
godly way.
Yeah.
We thank God.
Wow.
We bless the Lord for what we've been through, because that trials had brought us closer to Him.
Yes.
And you see the loving kindness of God. You see
Amen.
that, you know, God is merciful.
Yes.
You know, even in marriages, you understand that marriage is not perfect. Because now, if people will, you know, when you look at the world, and especially media, what you see, and they will be like, you know, they will see people are, you know, many marriages are breaking. People will, you know, will lose hope, and, you know, they will think, these things don't work anymore.
Yes.
But I think this is something that God has taught us, you know, in marriage, is because you guys had put me first. You have acknowledged me in this, you know, in this institution, in this marriage. He's with us.
He's
you
with
know?
us.
He's with us. Whether we are in good times, in bad times, in luck, in good health, in bad health,
You give thanks.
we give thanks to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we never give up. And
Wow.
so the Lord have taught us so much, Lynn, during this process.
Yeah.
You know, to seek Him fast, to pray, to fast, you know, to delight in Him, not to lose heart, not to give up on one another.
You
Because
love Him, yeah?
He is so much. Yes, my friend. If I don't love this guy, I'd already take my flight. you know, I told Eric, whatever challenges, trials we have, whether we don't have,
Yes.
even if we have only rice here, you have mchele here, you have ugali here, it's okay. You know, we bear with one another. We you know, you stay with your partner. You know, you stay with your spouse.
Yeah.
Because many people will give up on their spouse when now your spouse don't have money, your spouse lost their job, your spouse is sick.
Yes.
You started leaving
You
your
start
spouse.
leaving your spouse.
But you see, marriage don't work that way. You
Yeah.
know, you bear with your spouse. You stand with him, whether he don't have, whether he's okay in
Yeah.
his health,
You
whatever
stand with
station,
him.
whatever position he has in his life.
Yeah.
Because if you really love that person, you know, from the very beginning, you love him. You don't love him only for
Yes.
what he has, you know, for material things or whatever. That's not how love is. So, but we thank God, it's because it is God who has established this, you know, this marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, without God, then we could have not made
And
it.
you're happy. You should see how you glow.
The Lord's
It's the Lord's doing.
Amen.
It's the Lord's doing.
Amen.
And I feel like, unaona hata sijaongea sana. Nime feel like even me, I'm in that learning process.
Amen.
And I want to invite your husband here
Yes.
so that he can share with us
Amen.
a 1-2. So Eric, karibu sana on the show. Karibuni sana. Na we na man Zion. Haya Zion, kuja basi. Come.
Yeah, so my name is Eric Maina, and I'm married to this beautiful lady that you see seated right next to me.
Yes.
And we've been married for the last 4 years,
Yeah.
going to 5 in January. And we have 2 kids. This is Zion Jerusalem, Maina, and then he's 3.5 years. And then we have Agape Love. The baby girl,
Yeah.
she's three months. And we thank God. So I'm a full-time pastor
Yeah.
with Nairobi Chapel.
Yeah.
We've planted a church in Nairobi Chapel, Kariobangi.
Good.
In Kariobangi.
Yes.
I've been there for for 1 year.
For 1 year.
Yeah, the last 1 year.
Yes, and I was looking at her while she was talking about you and she was glowing.
Yes.
Do you glow when you talk about her? Because
Yes.
we are about to find out.
I do.
You
I'm telling
do?
you, I do.
Yeah, because I also have some questions for you.
Okay.
Yeah, but before we do that, we always have a rule in this show. We do not rush our guests. So my people, unfortunately or fortunately, that's where part 1 of this conversation comes to an end. And I want you to tune in to part 2 because Eric, there are some few things I would want you to talk to us about because you are giving us, you know, when people see really beautiful stories, they want to find out what makes them work because we can't say you guys never fight, you guys you don't miscommunicate. And you also have to tell us why you waited for so long because she said she thought you would engage after a year, you took 2 years. So we also want to find out. So my people, please be sure to tune in to part 2 of this conversation. That should be tomorrow, Wednesday, 11 a.m. So if you've not subscribed, please subscribe so that you don't miss out. Na tuonane kwa part 2. Sini sawa? Haya basi.